Hello and welcome to the Justin Hamilton podcast. On today's episode, we are covering the penultimate episode of The Bear for season five, and it's a great one. And 7 episodes in, I'm feeling pretty jazzed. I'm pretty sad that we've got one episode to go, and this episode was kind of exactly what I want in The Bear. Um, Before we get into it, I just want to do a little shout out. My friend was telling me that her daughter Libby is a little bit like me. Hi, Libby. I know that you too hate the binge model, and you're doing this an episode at a time. And thank you for joining in. And I hope you're enjoying this season as much as I am. And hopefully, I'm providing you with some insights or some thoughts that are resonating, and get your mum to let me know where you're at with it as well. I'd love to hear from you and from the rest of you as well, how you're doing with this latest season of The Bear. Um, let's just get right into this episode. It's the longest episode of the season so far. It goes for just under an hour, and it moved quickly. Like I thought it was incredibly well directed, written, edited. The music by Hans Zimmer, all of it, the pacing to it is just perfect. I did like that it started off with a couple of things. One is it was just the women sorting things out. If there's anything we've learnt from The Bear, it's that when shit gets tough, just listen to the majority of the women there and move the men to the side and make them fit in with what you're doing. So I thought that was a really good way to start this episode. Also, it seems Marcus's idea on how to survive all of this, well, it was set up pretty much in the first episode, and that is the way McDonald's does stuff. So everyone kind of works on something, moves it along, and it's like a conveyor belt. Marcus and Luca, when they were having that conversation, said that McDonald's should get a star. So is that a bit of foreshadowing? It might be a bit of foreshadowing. We ended up with the Starman turning up. We all know that they have a last name that's usually like a street of Chicago. So his was Dearborn, and he comes in with Tom Skilling, who is a weatherman for, from what I've been able to gather, Chicago television. So unless there's a sleight of hand coming, you would think that is the Starman. I personally would laugh my ass off if it was the Mitchells. The Mitchells who just got brought into the kitchen and just went, wow, this looks really busy. This looks really stressful. Why don't we just hang around? And I did thoroughly appreciate that moment where Kami enlists them to help out, start folding those napkins, and he shows them how to do it. I loved all of that. This was a culmination for me of seeing all of my favorite characters step up and succeed, and it's like competency porn. Do you know what I mean? It's like everyone's really good. There's such a beautiful moment with Neil, who is, let's be honest, an idiot. And when he is left at the table with Dearborn and Skilling, and he's has a moment where it's almost incapable of speaking. It was like he'd run out of batteries. But they engage with him about his tattoos. And the thing that drives you mad about Neil and all of those guys is also something that is a positive about them, which is there is a naivety, and there is a joy for life, and there is a love that is childlike in the way that it's expressed. So when he starts talking about being a kid and not really having any friends and leaving. And then he ended up breaking his arm and then he got his cast and then all of his real friends and family signed it. Um, that's a really endearing story. And sure, he ends up, what was the line? Something about, have you ever been fucked so hard you have a banana come out of your ass? Is that the line? Like, it's no clear eyes, full heart can't lose, but we get the gist of it. And it would be unrealistic to see Neil come up with something mildly poetic, but in his own way, it does have a rhythm and it does have something nice to it. Uh, a character that I really love that we never see a lot of is Gary. And Gary gets called upon to bring out the wine that he's pretty certain that he knows is the correct one and is uncertain of completely trusting his palate. And then when that particular wine is ordered, it's the 97, and he brings it out and there's like once again really good editing, backwards and forwards. We really pause on that moment of Dearborn having the taste, and you're going, oh, has he got it wrong? Has something happened? And then expresses that it's beautiful and it's perfect. And we have a nice little moment with Gary by himself, just being able to celebrate that he has really, really done it. So I loved all of that. Um, I'm going to be all over the shop with this because this is kind of there's so many different little storylines. Marcus's dad coming in ended up being a perfect little storyline. I loved that he got to impress his father. I loved that the candle being cut to, reveal the caramel. That gives us the title for this episode, Over the Dessert. And I liked at the end that the father goes in for a hug and Marcus isn't ready for that. He's not ready for that, and he shouldn't be ready for that. He shakes his hand, but he also he's still generous to his father. There is still a level of empathy, and he says we're going to catch up, and we're going to talk, and maybe in their future, maybe there are hugs. Who knows? But for now, that storyline for me ended perfectly. I like that Marcus was a real man in that he was confident with how he felt in that moment and didn't succumb to giving over to something that wouldn't have come naturally. A shake of the hand and a promise to catch up soon and to talk. That's what his father deserves in that moment. He's had a nice experience. He's been able to prove he's had his son prove something to him, and that he is opening up the channels of communication for the future, I think is exactly where that storyline should land. Damn, the party out the back looked wild. And yes, there was cocaine. So happy birthday for everyone. I loved all of that. It's interesting. The busier that the restaurant got, the busier that the party got. The language was raw. There's a lot of swearing, but it's real. And what it feels like is it feels lived in. They've finally synthesized what the family meals were like. It's exactly what Richie described before everybody arrived, and they finally found a way to like the food is high end. Like they are making fine dining, but they are grounding it in real emotions and real character. And throughout my life, the things that I've really enjoyed the most are when high art meets low art. So an example for me to share with you is when I was a kid, I read comic books and was a collector, and then just and comic books, when I was a kid, were kid things. They were for children. You were looked down upon if you read them. Even as a teenager, it was considered a little bit, oh God, that's embarrassing. But just as I was probably getting to that point, I started reading the comics, Daredevil, by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. I was reading Alan Moore's Swamp Thing with John Totleben and Stephen Bissett, Rick Veitch, Alfred Alcala, and what these artists did was that they brought a high end sensibility to a low art form, and what they did was they synthesized a brilliant storytelling, and that sort of started to hit the mainstream with publications like Watchmen and The Dark Knight Returns. It's the a level of intellectualism brought to pop music. Of course, David Bowie, Roxy Music, that kind of thing. The Beatles in very much that milieu, and I think you see it in blockbuster movies that can have a more intellectual approach to them, like something like Inception, which really is a fun movie, but it tries to layer extra meaning and depth in the storytelling. Steven Spielberg's always been like this. Denis Villeneuve. I think you can see it in what Greta Gerwig was doing with Barbie, all of that stuff. So anyway, so that's me kind of rambling a little bit, but I just want to give you some examples of what I mean about they're creating art that with the food that they're presenting, but it comes from a deep emotional resonance with their lives, and it's surrounded by people like Neil, who are saying, using some pretty vulgar language, but, it's great. It's great. It's what you want to be in. You don't want it to be sterile. You want it to be buzzing, and you want it to be, have a vibe. And that's what all of this has. We have Uncle Jimmy and Computer. Cheese kind of reiterates that Ibra's idea is excellent. And, there's a couple of quotes in this episode. And, oh, God, I've got so many notes for this one. But it's like Jimmy kind of says to Computer, what are we going to do? And you may as well do this, because what else have you got? And that's kind of in many ways, that's a really good approach to life. It's like, well, why wouldn't you do it? If you can do it, why wouldn't you do it? And in this case, they have a good plan. Computer can get some, we'll put the money up. It feels like it could be successful. They don't know if it'll be successful, but it could be successful. And they can, turn this around. So why wouldn't you try? I think that's a really good lesson for just everyday life. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what your profession is. It doesn't matter what your hobbies are. If you're in a position you can do it, well, then why wouldn't you do it? And that storyline kind of reaches a quiet moment where they share cigars. There's also a moment where Jimmy feels bad for having a go at Carmy, and then Computer points out that he doesn't have a father, and Jimmy's like, I'm not his father, but there's kind of he feels bad for telling him to go fuck himself, but he also, Carmy probably needs someone who talks to him like that in a weird way. I know that seems quite abhorrent in this current climate of the way we are meant to treat people, etc. But I understand the point that they're coming from. In many ways, he probably needed a hard talking to, as they all did at certain points. And Jimmy's probably the one who can do this. So we have Marcus and his father reconciling. We have, Jimmy kind of maybe coming to terms with the responsibility of not only trying this other plan out to franchise, but also the responsibility of what he can be for Kami. We also have Donna turn up, and it's such a funny moment when she arrives. Kami's reaction, Sydney's reaction, but you know what? Like I'm ever since Kami went to Donna's house and cooked for her, I feel like there's been a healing. I feel like that the episode with Sugar where it was just the two of them, and she had to give birth, and I feel like, and at the end of that episode, Donna left so everyone could be together. I feel like there's been a healing. I feel like there's been steps forward. And once again, I like that she's there because not only does she get to see her kids in the restaurant doing something amazing, but in turn, they get to see how much better she is, and it's really lovely. It's such a beautiful moment in the chaos of this episode where Donna finds Kami's book, and through reading it and looking at his recipes and what he worked on, etc., it's like she's starting to understand her son a little bit more. She's reading his life, a life that for many reasons he has not shared with her. And by the end, there's a nice little moment where the three of them are together, and he's pointing out that he lived on a boat in Copenhagen, and it's just once again this whole experience, while it's been traumatic and scary and aggressive and has in many situations shown the uglier sides of people. In the end, where we are landing in this final season is healing. And healing doesn't mean everything is fine. Healing means we're on a different track and things are going to continue to get better. Like Marcus and his father. Do you know what I mean? Would have felt weird for them to hug. The father did not deserve that, but he got a handshake. And he's going to see him again. And Donna is still loopy, and Kami still needs to learn how to, express himself. And Sugar is, trying to juggle being, a mum to a tiny baby and run a business, etc. But the three of them together, maybe possibly for the first time post Mikey's death, were a new version of the family that they can be moving forward. So there is, I feel like there is a very funny moment. By the way, you know how I feel about Pete. Pete keeps copping shit from everyone, and he's just still so kind of daggy and nice. And it was nice to see Pete and Donna meet up again, because I remember the last time they met at that restaurant, she turned up and didn't have the confidence to go in. So for them to have a moment where they could just feel joy when they see each other and hug each other and express, oh, I'm so glad to see you here. These are the words that in everyday life we forget to say. These are the words that we take for granted. We often in our lives will err on the side of negativity or aggression, and we often forget, hey, it's nice to see you. Oh, how you're looking good. Like just little positive affirmations that are it's amazing. It's words are wind through vocal cords and lips with intent, And that's all they are, but they're so powerful. And if you take your time, you can really make a difference. And I think that was such a really sweet moment. There were actually quite a few moments in this episode that I got a little bit choked. That made me feel a bit teary. Um, you know, the look on Neil's face when he was talking about his friends signing his cast, like they're just nice character moments that have been earned over the course of 5 seasons and world building. Um, that also, I love the moment where someone says to the party out the back, it feels illegal. And it's like, we got a permit. No, you didn't. You did not get a permit. We know you did not get a permit. But also, isn't there something kind of great about that? Like I know we have rules and regulations for very important reasons, don't get me wrong. But also sometimes you just got to fuck the man and do what you need to do. And if that's and that's what they did out in that back. And that's why it was alive. And that's why everyone was having a good time. And that's why those people went inside and then also got a great meal. I don't know. I love that very much. There's so much that's not done because we bang on about, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that, and sometimes, like breaking the law. I'm not saying go out and steal something, but sometimes fuck it, just do it. Be creative instead of living your life in fucking fear. Just make a choice, and sometimes making that choice, making it for fun, it's a good thing. Anyway, I feel quite emotional after this episode. So anyway, the big part of this episode is this kind of McDonald's work system is nailing it, and everything's coming together. And then at one point the oven goes off, and they remember they've got the hot plates that they can set up, so that's fine. Everyone's working together. Everyone's a cog in the machine. And they've got the last lamb that they're going to serve to Dearborn, and the lights flicker, and just as the lights flicker, Kami drops it, and it's the last lamb, and there is a moment of pure panic, and we see the old Kami appear. We see him start to spiral, and everyone else sees it. And there's real panic, and suddenly there is all of Kami's history is like caught right up into that moment, and it's pressed in his head, and he is about to spiral. And at that moment, Richie catches him and Sydney catches him. And in the process, she says, you trust me. And, they get Tina's Brussels sprouts sorted, which we saw her working on at the start of this season. And then they've got to try and work out what to do. And by the way, I need to point out throughout this whole episode, Kami for us has never been better. Like he's just, once again, I've come to the conclusion, maybe the theory that he actually does love cooking. He just doesn't want the pressure of being the head chef, and he needs to be once he's in this environment where he is a cog in the machine, and he can and it is a little bit more got that family vibe. He's really good, and he comes up with lots of solutions to situations, like right at the end when they've run out of, I think it's polenta, and they, and that moment where they've got 2 eggs left, and Richie throws one of them, and it's a really bad throw. And once upon a time, that would have had them just screaming at each other, and Richie just laughs, and he gets the next one and hands it to Kami. It's a great moment. But anyway, getting back to the spiral, everyone's got everybody, and they just get on with it. And then in turn, and this is a real step forward for Kami, Sydney says, do you trust me? He does trust her. And then in turn, he says, "Do you trust me?" And he suggests her Coke ribs, which was something that she's been working on for years. First started helping her with that. And he says, "It's better than anything I've ever made." Is that true? I don't know. But he knows what that dish means to Sydney. He knows the history. He knows the emotion that is invested in her trying to get it right, in trying to perfect it. And it doesn't matter if it's true or not. What's important is the generosity of spirit, and that he gives her that, and he believes in her, and he believes in her dish, and that the dish goes out and is received so well is just great. I'm a sap. I fucking love this shit, and this episode just really made me very happy. You know, once again, just and lots of funny moments as well, like the Donna looking at the picture of Carmy and Sydney and asking if they're dating, and Pete says, there's some theories. Well, if you look on the internet, there's people shipping the two of them together. So there's been lots of jokes all the way through this that have just made me laugh so much. I've enjoyed those little meta moments, and why not? It doesn't it fits in with the storyline, and it's a nice thing for us sitting at home. But when it all comes down to it, Neil talking about his tattoos, everyone working to help Marcus' dad have an incredible experience, everyone banding together, Tina's sprouts getting an opportunity, Gary stepping up, all of it. It all comes down to Richie saying, "Hey, we got you." And they've got each other. Everyone has everyone in that moment. And at the end of the night, they're all outside smoking. I hope they've learned a lesson and do not put the cigarettes in the drain. But there's a nice moment of, once again, a small moment, but there's a little bit of physical interaction between Carmy and Richie, where Carmy kind of, Richie's sitting down and he kind of pats him on the head while smoking, and they're laughing about stuff. And I just thought it was great. This is what I want from the series. If this is the end, I'm guessing that this next episode is the last episode, but we did that for season 4, right? If this is it, this is what I want. I want this kind of episode. I want to see these people succeed. I find it, I know they're not real. I know that it's fictional, but, good storytelling is expressing empathy. It allows you to feel all the different types of emotions in a safe space. And if watching people overcome their foibles and succeed and feel good about themselves, if you can watch that and you can feel that as well, then this show's a fucking masterpiece, and it's exactly what we need at this point in time. I'm loving it. I hope you're loving it. Thank you to everyone who is joining me on this little 8-episode mini-series within the season. I've loved hearing from all of you. I haven't had time to reply yet, but I will get around to it. It's this is a bit of work, but it's something that I very much embrace, and it could have hit at a better time of the year for me, but who gives a shit? Like, we're doing it, right? Let's fucking do it. I don't need to sleep. I'll sleep at some point. It's worth it. I'm having a good time. Libby, I hope you're having a good time. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did as well. Before you go, just a reminder, if you would like to support this podcast, a top review on whichever platform you use, or if you would like to, for as little as $5 a month, sign up at Patreon. All the money made there will go back into the making of this podcast, and you can also get access to bonus podcasts and live shows that I've filmed, etc. That's over at patreon.com/Justin Hamilton. You can watch me on YouTube, but if all you do is just listen, thank you. That is very much appreciated. All right. Whew, one episode to go. I'm looking forward to it, and just a little bit sad, but all good things come to an end. And you know what? As I said, I think endings are good. Endings are good. So here's hoping that we have one final episode that brings all of our favorite chefs together and sends them off in sparkling form. All right. Thank you for being a part of this. You're the best. Until then.